My name is Muriel Asseburg. I'm a senior fellow at the German Institute for International and Security Studies in Berlin. It's a difficult question. There is no, easy solution and easy thing for the Europeans to do. First is the Europeans do not have such a lot of influence on developments on the ground. And second is that the interests they have do not necessarily coincide with the interests of the Arab peoples in these countries. Now, what I think is most important is trying to stabilize the region. What does it mean to stabilize the region? I think what we need is states that are in a better position to deliver services to their people. Services like security, but of course also economic and social well-being. And this is where Europeans can have an impact. So it means engaging, for example, in security sector reform. It means engaging in economic reform. It means helping the administrations to become better geared towards the wishes of the people. Does this work against the wish of governments and leaderships and regimes in power? No, it does not. And Europeans cannot impose. So it means they can only work in those countries and have an impact where you have leaderships that are also geared towards that kind of reform. And if not, I think Europeans should not cooperate with regimes who do not have an interest in reform. You cannot stabilize and you cannot strengthen states while you do not have reform. That only means you strengthen repressive capacities, you strengthen patronage systems, and that is not what Europeans should do. And this is actually where I now see the main problem, because Europeans are so afraid of migration, of spillover, of conflict, of terrorism, that they are willing to go back and do what they said they don't want to do anymore, that is cooperate with authoritarian and repressive regimes. And do whatever these regimes tell them they need in order to be strong. And I think that is wrong and it should be done. Well, they are adapting very hesitantly, and it's very, very difficult. What we see actually is that this crisis, the refugee crisis in Europe, is not so much a crisis of refugees. I mean, Europe has enough means and enough potential to handle that, but it becomes a European crisis, a crisis of European institutions, a crisis of European solidarity. And we see that each member state is taken measures and is not acting in solidarity with the other member states. So this is destroying the foundation of the European Union. And it's not because of the refugees, it's because of the reaction to the problem. And it also has an impact, of course, on domestic policies. Now, coming from Germany, I see how much the right wing is rising, how much they use this issue for their propaganda, how much they play on fear of the population, of concerns of the population, how much this is driven by racist ideas, by Islamophobic ideas, and I fear that we will see elections, in the coming elections we will see a rise of the right wing in Germany, but also in other European states.
How do you see, what do you hope from this conference?
What do I hope from this conference? It's already being fulfilled in a sense that it's very, very good not only to have analysts from the West who comment on what is happening in the Arab states, but to the contrary, have academics, analysts, people from all over the Arab world analyzing and commenting on what is happening and giving their point of view on the developments. And I think that is something that has been missed a lot when we look at the publications that are available globally. It's mostly Westerners that comment on what is happening and that give the analysis of what is happening, and not so much people from the region. And this is what is different in this conference. If you could use big books that have thousands of pages, I don't think that any people in the administration would take note of that. But if it's translated into policy papers that are accessible, that are readable, then I think it will be taken into account. That doesn't mean that Europeans act on it, but but at least they get a different analysis and a different perspective of what's happening. And I think that alone is important.